everything I say.
It never comes out where it's going to be. So that's why I'm saying these things.
All right, let me rewind that.
Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Here's something I've been knowing for a long time.
I'm gonna come up, tell you some information right now that I just learned. It's pretty heavy duty. Okay, my mother killed her mother, got paid money doing black magic. She was given some things to read, and she read it, and what she read went into the multiverse. Well, it went through this computer, which is interesting. Controlled by particular numbers, codes, frequencies, created by downloads, which are codes, colors, writing. You could even have a code as a write. You could believe it or not, you could draw something, or even like this right here. This guy, I drew him. So, phase shift reality. So here comes what I was noticing for the first time ever, that how the energies come over me in a relationship, conversation, not a relationship, okay, in relationship to the conversation that I'm having with someone. So this morning, if I am going to point out demonic downloads coming into people's minds, the teams of perpetrators that are doing the mind control from spaceships, from dimensions that are just here with you, they're just in a different form of energy. So let's say you're sitting at a table. I always sit here. So there's empty seats. What that leaves open is room for an entity to come sit here in the chairs. So these are the other dimensional beings. Let's call them multi-dimensional. So the multi-dimensional beings who not just exist in those realms, but have actually conspired in a game called the Matrix Reality to be used for maximum purpose, maximizing the energies that they are responsible for. Now, that brings you back to their purposes, are very energy frequency specific, used specifically for downloading loose energy harvesting. Loose energy is the energies that come from emotions, psychic thought. You can believe, if they make you believe something, they get paid. So, like the movie Tron, they're talking about it. Hey, you're in a reality where we're all playing a game, and it's energy, and we're very competitive. If you watch Tron, they're in a computer, and they're all playing games in there, and in the games, they're all lit up with different colors. Neon lighting is important, and they kill each other. They're in games of death. So, this is one of the gates of the gatekeepers, understanding, showing you Tron. You watch the movie and you still don't get it. So then, sorry Charlie, we own your reality, and that's how Jeff Bridges is a reflection of that energy. The money's made at the box office. The conscious thoughts you have about the movie star Jeff Bridges and whoever his family is. And the family, they'll have specific names to be used as downlines, like, okay, I'm going to be the head honcho. My family, if they make the front lines, their name has to be a code that will send in a specific spirit to speak to their mind. Whoever reads it. So whenever I watch Prince, what's his name? The guy who was, the kids were giving massages on his feet and having sex with him, and he was going to Epstein's place. The Illuminati financier pedophile that everyone knows about. But here's the level. Do you care? Is this important to investigate to you? Right? You want to start to look at these things. You want to say, like, do I even, is it on my radar to even care? Why am I in this reality? Not one of the, why am I not doing what this guy's doing, which is me, talking every day about Gaia 13, 13, 13, 103, 233, 688, 13 14 point 13, 13, 13 power, 16, 17, 13 power. Downline. Okay, so I do weird prayers. Understanding, receiving downloads from the other side, bringing them in here with certain numbers, codes, colors, etc. to adjust the frequency in our matrix reality. So imagine each, like, part of your reality is a cube of energy all around you, creating the salt lamp, the painting, the paint on the wall, the design, the chandelier. So they're all like inside of a measurement called a square. So in home improvement, we measure a wall, but only one dimension of it. And measure it upward, measure it that way. So let's say it's 13 feet by 17 feet, 0.0007. Well, you'll take 13 feet, let's say it was 13.13 feet to the 13th power. Take that amount, multiply it by the horizontal measurement, which will be, what did we say, 17.007.13. Let's just add that in. So now you're dealing with, let's say, 44,000.00013 power 17 feet square footage now. Well, now you have a whole new 411-911 808 13 power. That's what I'll call that. Well, what is that? Okay, so now here's the secret for all at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. 8 plus 1, 8 plus 5 is 13. I did it at about 0.17 seconds after that when I saw it, because you can only have so fast of a vision. So I go and I see it when I look down, like 914. 9 plus 4 is 13 again. Like it never ends. So 17 guys go, they found 13 nooses. Mooses. Tom Green, hump a dead moose. Bullwinkle. Rocky. Borenstein, dressing. Borenstein bears. Bad news. I've got some bad news. Bears, Gillies. Ride the bull at Gillies. Gillies, Gillilands, ESETI Ranch, Australia, Joey, Nissan, Xterra, The Witch. I just started doing a little magic on accident. I still want more coffee, and I haven't even told you the big news. The big news is this. Remember I was talking about the value of energetic squares everywhere? How you can adjust these squares? Because they're illusory, right? So they're only created by the codes that you've been given to have domination over these reality situations. So here you go. You go ahead and say, I'm going to adjust it with 13, 13, 13 power. You go to McDonald's, like I said, and you don't finish walking the gate because you didn't contact me and say, this shit works. You thought about it, but then you were given a download from the other side. They said, for some reason that makes so much sense, don't contact him. Because that's the other last part of the gate. They understand that. So a lot of beings have gone and done the work. They've seen the energy response center, but they didn't realize that their minds were being controlled. So we're going to talk about what I was given to tell you through telepathic communications while I was taking a dump. So I'm using the restroom and I get the download. This is what you need to talk about, because look what happened in this conversation. So I'm over here talking to Veronica about telepathic manipulations, about what happened in our conversation. I said, look, I'm not in the argument energy that you're carrying right now. So I said, look at this. First of all, they get her to say some things that are going to cause discomfort energetically to me. I just don't like it. It rubbed me wrong by virtue of something said. So I didn't know. I could only identify it at that level that she's being used energetically. But now I'm given specific information on how the energies are used in the matrix as magic. So it's all about loosh harvesting. Loosh harvesting, the energy that we're being harvested for, is all magical. It's all about using magic to obtain it from the dark side. So positive beings like yourself are used. If you're not like connecting with me and saying, hey, listen, man, that magic is the shit. I did the magic. My mom had a car crash. Her head went through the fucking window and like cut her neck right here. Blood was gushing fucking everywhere. You know, none of the family could help her, right? We were just like amazed what was going on when we saw her, like, it looked like, when you know those water hoses when you're going to wash your car and you put your thumb on the end? If you don't put your thumb there, it's just going to go like, right? But if you put your thumb on there, it spreads it out. And then that's what they were specifically doing. With energy, so to speak. Now, back to what happened with Veronica. 14, 17, 13, 13, 13 pounds. I was sitting here reading the newspaper. And I'm just sitting here like ready to have a piece of toast and some coffee and some butter. But anyway, the specific was this. I said, hey. Oh, by the way, even my shirt is coded. Everything's a code. And the back, same thing. got codes back here in the back of my head. So anyway, the bottom line, breaking down the details of the energies coming in, not by my own thought processing, by using other beings from the other side who are helping me, assist me in breaking energies I didn't even know existed that are on me, harming me. So last night, when I asked Veronica about the Luciferian situation at Gaia TV being the top spiritual channel and using Luciferian energies onto the people, it's not my problem. Well, you see, we're all connected, so that is your major problem. And so that is what holding down energies looks like. So let me take this portable situation to the coffee machine. All right. So, how do we break? I don't get credit for breaking down these like energetic values. That's my soul. You got to give Azrael credit. Me, I'm just hearing what's being said about the Matrix conversation that I had. So I'm over here being told that there's a new level why people can't fucking hear me. And it has to do with what happened today with Veronica. So what she did was this. She was being downloaded by ETs, negative things about what I'm saying when I was saying them. So that, what does that look like? Well, what do you mean when I'm, no. Okay, let me get more specific. WC, number 7. All right. When I was telling Veronica how the dark side operates inside of her, when she gets energetically, emotionally pissed off at me, so then I was told nothing I'm doing or saying is helping to identify these energies, helping her to do that by talking about, hey, look, this is what you're doing. They're doing it through you. I didn't realize that they had a pre-planned psychic knowing of what they could do to block those energies. They have different levers in her mind, let's just say. 7 levers are sitting there. Now you got 7 levers of emotional distraught. You can actually pull a lever from a spaceship. Let's just say push a button. It's easier. Let's fuck with this area. And there's a whole keyboard actually of things they could do. They're that advanced. So they send, okay, we know telepathically, psychically, because we know the future. They fuck around with that shit. We know he's going to say certain things that are going to harm us if she finds out. So we have to block everything that he's going to say, but make it look like it's her idea. Well, because we're the mind controllers, we work in people's, that's what they're saying, right? What they do is they work inside of people's knowing. Like, they give them things to know. Now they're the gatekeepers to that part of their knowing. So they just go to what they know. See, these are programs of mind control beyond this bullshit 3D that all the mind control people are talking. So how does mind control be used in a conversation? This is what we're talking about this morning. So we're finally getting, just so you know, this is like the part where I wave the flag, right? It's a red flag. Hey, listen, right now is the big information you need to listen to about what's happening out of everything you watch on this video. You know, when people do that, they let you finally know, hey, it's time for you to fucking, like, listen in a different way to where you can now see it's time where he's going to talk about the deep shit. Well, when I'm doing that, I want to preface you because you may have mixed in the deep shit with the shallow shit. So we were talking, and I don't know, I'm not saying that what I said was shallow, but I'm just saying there's a contrast of information that I want you to really pay attention to which is this is the meaty, juicy, fresh information off the presses. The other's just yesterday's news. So now I'm coming in with the fresh newspaper. That's what it is. Everyone wants to have the brand new stuff, the brand new model of vehicle, right? You want to have the brand new iPhone. You want to have the new fucking whatever it is. When it's news, you don't want to go buy a newspaper and say, hey, give me yesterday's shit. Give me newspaper from last year. Because that's what you're regurgitating in your mind all the time. Instead of that, right now, when you become psychic using these numbers, I forgot to say, people who do 13, 13, 13 start to get new information because you're blocking off the informational portal blockages from the number 11, 13, 13, 13 power. 11, 13, 103, 233. So I cleanse the shit out of 11, 11, 13 power, 103, negative 5150, point 13, 13, 13 power. Because it's the dirtiest number out there. But okay, so that was yesterday's big talk about why is it important. She said it's none of her business when we're all connected, and Luciferians are doing mind control on all of us. So this is a problem for everyone. It's not just a... So then how today we're going to identify the specific energies. Watch this. So I was in a loop of continuous repetitive negotiations about trying to communicate with Veronica about the dark side. So if I'm over here doing the same thing every time, they have energetic blocks in consciousness that they've set up like roadblocks that there is absolutely no way she's going to get past. And I didn't know that. I just kept hitting the roadblocks knowing something was wrong. So now I'm being told, here's why. Because they have those buttons ready for her. Emotional button pushing. It's an actual joke we talk about in AA 1313, but AA is 11, 13, 13, 13 power. I said 11 is Lucifer last night. It's the biggest 13, 13, 13 number being touted on the Lucifer station, 13, 103, 233, Gaia 103, 233, Unlucky 7, WCCB Radio Talk, upload. So this is the situation we're up against. We've got WC, my dad, coming in speaking into people's minds in Sedona now. When you open up one portal of communication and another one and another one and another one in the same vortex, fucking super energy blasting area, it's the megaphone. I just found out because of all the energy vortexes. Sedona is a fucking megaphone for this shit. Okay, so back to the conversations. I say, hey, look, here's how the ETs are using you in mind control. I thought for sure this is a done deal. Once I tell her the basic information about what's happening, her awareness right there will transmute everything. No. If she really did understand what I was saying and given an opportunity to not have any energetic barriers around her, so when she's already like this, like, you know, we already had beef. They create energetic statics. So we had some beef earlier about a big problem about, you don't listen to me when I'm trying to say. Or I said, no, you got to hear this because it's coming into my mind. If I get a fresh fucking off the press download when I'm talking to you, I need you to hear this because the angel of death and all the homies are trying to help you out with this information. Well, it doesn't, my idea that she should be able to hear this was one of the problems. Because today I found out they're waiting for her to understand each point that I make and redirect her consciousness in that given moment. Joe Dispenza is a gatekeeper to these synopsis points. So imagine, you know how cattle whenever they're at the slaughterhouse, or even if at their home. I think they got like wherever they live in Bakersfield, let's just say. I've seen them. They live in mud. Their whole yard is mud. It's like they're walking around in mud all day shitting, and then so you got shit mud everywhere. They're not out there on the range. I've seen these cows. They're walking around in mud, and then they're in the worst breathing area. The San Joaquin Valley is the worst in the entire country, and they're breathing that air. So of course they're gonna get a big giant needle this big, like on Pulp Fiction, and give them antibiotic shots every morning. They got so many shots in them one time. I seen them. They started shooting them in the neck, like in the right here near the in the vein or jugular or whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, these mind control operatives, you've got all these beings against me, waiting for you to be open to a decision about me, an opinion, just like her. So she gets an energetic value of static about me, and then that's the beginning. They make a judgment. Oh, here, look at him. He's doing this wrong. You don't like him because of that, right? And you're going, yeah, he's a dick. Then, okay, boom. When in fact, I'm your brother from the other side. Or I'm your homeboy. Your fucking spirit partner that came into this reality and was supposed to wake you up. And then the fucked up thing is, Lucifer takes your mind over because Source knew that you would lose. I'm the guy in here that's been polarized to positivity. They've kept the angel of death part off of me and everyone else with the positivity spells. So it's really interesting what's going on. But let's talk more about the conversations that when I told her, look, ET's like on Twilight Zone. She even saw Twilight Zone where the damn ETs are up on a hill downloading information into the people through telepathic fashion, causing fights, arguments, and total fucking disarray. Then they go like this, okay, we did it. Because they were already going to kill each other. The whole town was like all paranoid and fucking trying to murder each other. They said, let's go to the next town. So they're really, look, you're dealing with billions of years of technology. Nostalgia is fake in the Truman Show, by the way. I hate to burst your bubble. But if you're starting to believe you have a past, what they've done is they put all of us way into the past in this computer. So they have a timeline that they use, and it's a form of history inside of a computer. Outside of this, you can't fuck around and move time. Only here, in the Matrix. I don't know, it has to do with that magic. So they're using magical timelines in a Matrix where people believe in nostalgia and all this stuff. So anyway, in this simulated reality, you're going to come across opportunities to awaken. And these opportunities, you made a deal on the other side that you would come up to this. In this game, there's opportunities to awaken. You said in your script, you said, okay, right there, when I meet Azrael on his video, he's going to be spitting so much truth game from soul level. We're going to recognize this shit and we're going to help him out. We're going to use our facility in Sedona at the fucking vortex to get his message out. He's going to come. No, I know. Look, I'll be the owner of the company, and then I'm going to make him a partner. And we're just going to, but it's not going to be that, you made it all spiritual and like you were going to be there. All of them had to show up when I was skateboarding, carrying my board with my staff, hurt feet, right? Bloody nose, back hurting, hungry, no money, needing money. You made a deal. I'll drive past him in my new Navigator. in my brand new Mercedes. I will pass right by Azrael and disrespect him. Because you made a deal you would be there. So you just had to follow your script, but now you're following it for Lucifer. See how that just went off? So I'm getting information on how that worked. So all these beings in Sedona said, hey, this is how you get power, by going against your script. So someone was supposed to open their eyes instead of just giving me an up your ass. They were going to actually contact me and say, hey, listen, whoa, this is heavy shit. Basically what you're saying is you're the prophet and no one can compete to that. We cannot connect with you because prophecy is too heavy duty. They just want another Tom, Jerry, and Larry motherfucking psychic to show up and receive information from extraterrestrials that match into this love, light, Luciferian reality. Boom. Does that make sense? So now you know why these beings, like Sarah Adams, are able to pull off their truths and like, hey man, this is real. They believe it themselves. Well, it's all magical. You cannot compete against this type of magic unless you're on my team. But otherwise, everyone is sunk. Even Veronica, sleeping next to me and having the dreams impacted and waking up psychically. You see, you cannot be around me without becoming psychic. So she's psychic. But everyone is psychic, but the difference is she can now receive messages and be aware, cognizant. But here's the problem. She believes the Arcturians are good. And everyone we've ever heard of in this reality is not good. It's bad. So those beings, the Syrians, the Orion groups, that's why you have Kathy Orion. You know how I was telling you about past videos, word association? If you're talking about matrix codes, prongs that fit into an energetic portal of consciousness, you're talking about codes that sound similar. So that's how that works. Kathy O'Brien is connected to Orion. Peter Slattery, East Eddie Ranch, Richard Dolan, Jimmy Church, David Wilcock, Nucleus to All awareness programs. So we're going to finish talking about awakening. When you use these codes, you'll begin to drop things. Well, you got to go back and watch my video about magic, how to apply it. And when you do my magic, it automatically removes evil beings from you. I'm not going to trip out, like, say what I feel like saying right now, because I'll tell you anyway. So, her friend wanted me to help her how to get a high priestess energy off of her. So there's an evil high priestess that's trying to kill her. That's what they do with energies. It is deadly. And I was like, oh yeah, tell her this, right? The beginning to cleansing these beings is doing my magic. It's not mine. It's from beings that understand how to break apart the matrix from the other side. So put aside for a moment, these are called angels of death because that sounds negative. They're murderous angels that want to murder people like Epstein when they get the chance, and they do. And you'll see it on the news. We have we're coming up to an energy break where we've broken so much negative energies, where we're going to be seeing more and more pedophiles arrested. If you look at, they got Epstein, where's the fucking, all the pedophile ring that's connected to him? Why haven't we seen a whole group of people put on stage and saying, this is one, this is one, this is one, 1333 power. All these evil beings were connected to Epstein. They are also connected to Jerka Savaray, the CIA finders, and Gaia TV, Sedona, Arizona, and even Flagstaff. Mount Shasta is also implicated on these charges. Kona, Hawaii, Kealakekua at the 18.5 meridian point, as well as Pahoa. Hilo was considered, but the energy was minimized. Okay.
Once you realize you are in a matrix, simulated reality when he was in a mind.
So it's awesome right now.
Fight giants as a child.
Recognizing these well, no, it sucked. Feeling them, but so when Veronica comes and she says something that makes me feel bad, I never was able to recognize it as a cloud of energy, smog settling, fog coming in and settling on you. An energy that you can't see, like darkness, right? But I could feel it. She said something, now I feel this way. Imagine the fog coming in now. You need to begin to recognize when people say things that make you feel weird. There's an energy that you can't see coming over you, around you, and through you. Your blood changed. That Yakamoto guy, whatever, doctor that measured intention in water and could measure love frequencies versus hate frequencies or otherwise. He's a gatekeeper, so you would understand what's happening to your blood. Has nothing to do with the water. Well, the water's, your body is, your physical digitalized avatar matches a natural being on the other side. So in this reality, where our physical forms are digital flesh. This is the technology we're dealing with in here. Beyond your comprehension. This is way beyond the Truman Show. Because at least in the Truman Show, he realized he was in one. And then if you realize you're in the Truman Show, well, you're being manipulated. And it's your job to awaken to the manipulation. So there's like layers. Some people, they just stop at, yes, I know we're in a matrix. Well, okay, see ya. And they have no idea what it means to be in the matrix. What it means is numbers, codes, and frequencies are connected to spirits that are here to harvest you. So the harvesting of energies are self-righteousness, energies coming over other people onto you, judgments, misunderstanding, blame. The assignment of blame. They love to assign blame onto you. A lot of weird stuff. So anyway, when we had this energy, I felt the energy, but I never identified it till I was told last night. They showed me a schematic, like an energy schematic of how energy moves. So I was looking at, okay, the cloud of energy, boom. Then, now I got a cloud of energy on me. I need to get aggressive because I'm a warrior. They know that about me. So then they're telepathically psychopaths who control this reality, and they're using future probabilities about your move next. If you don't make the move and react in their way, then you break apart their energies off of you. from being mind controlled. So there are many layers of this that have to be continuously worked at doing. If you don't do it, you're not gonna. You don't do my work, you're already you're a done deal.
So they just come in to play a
Put a fork in you.
under, like,
So anyway,
guy, they call it.
the energies.
So you're kind of like under.
So we were talking about the cloud of energy. Let's just say, I know that this represents the angel of death. When I got told yesterday, hey, don't wear that hoodie in some fashion, I reacted, fight, because there's the energy being put on me. I don't like that energy. I can feel it, and then I like to fight out of it. So I'm like, got told by even the dark side will fuck with me. They'll tell me the truth. Hey, that's your Azrael uniform. You know you don't like to be fucked with about that. You know that's an energy they're throwing on me, and it's all this egging me on. So I also react to these mind controllers, and I'll say something like, I don't know, I'll do something energetically to win the battle that I understand how to do. Your face looks like a robot, you know, some shit like that. Well, what does it mean your face looks like a robot? Doesn't mean anything, because your face looking like a robot, we're all clones here, so you're not special if you think, you know, oh, robot. So the tofu robot, if you Google Vin Loi, Vinloi, it's a Vietnamese restaurant. He's got a robot on it says tofu robot. He's dressed with antennas and a spacesuit. This is a download from AI 13. Artificial intelligent people who are robots are going to tell you that they are. But he acts normal. But every time I go there, there was a response that he's talking about my life. So people, only until you become psychic, it looks like paranoia, because that is a spell against this awareness that has to look a certain way. You have to stop trusting everybody and start looking for a motive through what they are saying. If they're matching your life, it's not a coincidence, synchronicity, it's a magical demonic spell. All synchronicities are that.
They're created differently in each of your clones.
So back to the energies. I'm like, she says she don't like my hat. I get instantly told, fight. Because I don't like the energies. They're all over me. And I'm like, fight out of that shit. Well, that's part of my mind control. So now I went to her and there's other things that leads to me getting aggressive. Now she doesn't like my tone, and now she has another layer. Whatever her first layer was of static, it's still there. But now we're going to create another sheet, and we're going to put that new sheet between this fabric of energy, so you cannot be heard. Does that make sense? So the new sheet of energy is, you always start yelling, right? So then she has a button they push that is from the past. Here's the one you hate. You really hate it when he does this, right? So all those buttons. Here he goes again. And then she'll say something like, here we go again. So these are all buttons from premeditated attacks on our consciousness that are happening, but go unrecognized. Even empaths. The empaths are the biggest, juiciest group that gets fed upon by the dark side. You hear this? They don't want me to talk about the empaths being harvested. So there are empaths that are the juiciest of the bunch. That just means you're an angel incarnate, because we have certain abilities of heart-centered energies that change into a different language so they can be the gatekeepers of this energy, which is heart-centered. They'll call it inspiration. You believe it, now you're under inspiration magic, because it's just the way it goes in this reality. It's a really tough reality if you're not awakening and using the codes at certain times in the matrix, like right now. The gatekeepers will come to my videos. Everyone is a gatekeeper that comes. They'll get mind controlled not to make a proper comment with respect. If they do something that looks like respect, it's another spell of misunderstanding. They'll say something like, won't honor that I am the one from the matrix. Until people speak the language that you are the one, then none of these comments make shit. They will say, oh, keep up the good work, your prayers are powerful. It doesn't work like that. You don't talk like that to Jesus, do you? If Jesus incarnate, if his soul incarnated in an avatar, that was my soul who did Jesus, right? He played that little act for you. Well, now he's back, the same soul. So it's not, Jesus is, you're not going to get the same personality back, just know. So they know that stuff. They created the Bible, beliefs about soul, about Jesus, how he would return in the same avatar. Fuck his soul. No one cares about that. They're not talking about his soul jumping time, controlling energies, coming back as the angel of death. None of that. They don't know these things. Neither do any of the psychics. So this is why when I send the psychics a message that I am the only true psychic, they'll begin to understand that I know what's happening to them. So for all you psychics, so here's what I understand that you're doing. You're believing to things that you see as signs of confirmations that you're right about certain ideas that you have that are actually downloaded into your mind. They're going to show you in the matrix something that's going on, so it'll, oh, that's it right there. Oh yeah, then someone else will go like this. They'll shake their head yes, and you looked for that. You looked, oh, there's someone's head shaking yes. So all of those energies, you're controlled by an outside group called Lucifer, like 103, 233, 13 power, groups called the Archon Network. So the Archons control with the Anunnakis, Andromedans. Those are the key groups. Syrians, 13. Stephen Greer. It's my cousin, clone. It's like, I can just talk forever. It doesn't matter. We're just talking about the psychics. Oh yeah, back to like Sarah Adams. You're getting ravens going, ah, 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 and you're believing to them. You'll see pigeons fly a certain direction. They'll say, oh, it's going right, it's going left, you know, those little tricks. Or otherwise, I saw a pigeon get murdered by another pigeon, picking on the back of his head. Pop, 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 pop. Straight up attack. He passed out for 1 minute, then he woke back up and stood up, all wobbly. They went over there and they murdered him. So I had that on video. I have seen crazy things. You wouldn't believe the things that I've seen. We're going back to Sedona and cleaning up some more energy over there. It's getting pretty amazing. So, okay, let's talk about another layer of energy. Everything that she's told about me, like you, is being downloaded by the dark side. So there's nobody. Now watch this. You could be psychic, falling for the tricks that I fell for, the exterior stuff, and through these codes begin to create more of a, that's, you just, and guess what? Now that you've tapped into those energies, they never stop. Once you realize they're Luciferian though, you're going to want to get away from them. Now they're your attackers. For all psychics, this is what's happening. They're realizing that these beings, out of disrespect, are giving them energy attacks because they're rapid. They don't give them time to process. Notice, all you psychics, as soon as you get something happen, how fast does the answer come? It's right there. There's no assimilation time between the first, whatever it is you were seeing, then they gave you a download, a thought about what's going on, then you look for the answer. It's all happening too fast. So this is why it's a bad thing. It's evil. So evil beings keep you moving fast in thought. So all of this language has to do with the reptilians, making deals with the fallen angels, you know their names, and Michael, 13 power. All these archangels that have been mentioned in the Bible are all demonically connected with deals, contracts, all the magic. Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but your reality is totally backwards. That's the only way you hold energies. So the only way you can hold magical spells in the matrix is backwards energies. So back to the communications about energies that exist. So we've all jumped time. We've all been manipulating time. Some of the beings that are here doing energy work come in and out of a avatar. That avatar has no same soul. But you see the personality every day. They continue to be the same people with the same personality, but it's a whole different soul that gets put back in there. Now there's a glitch in the matrix due to that. They'll have a car accident, survive, but now they're all sick in the bed. That's a whole different soul. Did you know that? Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So, since I broke the spells, I've been had to walk through some stuff. Financial insecurity was one of them. This is the same shirt I wore when I was homeless. This this is art on here of apocalyptic level. So the things that come through me, this is my own blood from my nose from an attack. I don't know what kind of energy attacks. It's beyond what people call them on gang stalking videos. These energies are so sophisticated. They are energies from cosmic, at cosmic level. So cosmic level energies, and I did have a nosebleed a couple times this week, and I guess it's just assimilating new energies into this avatar. Bottom line. I don't know about how we're going to bring ourselves back to younger periods. I'm told we could do that. Bring ourselves back into a different... When we take control of this thing, we're going to control the timelines. So, but it may have something to do with keeping ourselves under hypnosis. While I am the main guy who knows, but I'm still like in a half dream state, right? Like I'll be over here knowing how the matrix works, but still in the dream a little bit. Does that make sense? That could be one possibility how this is going to break out. Could be that I stay under deeper hypnosis. I put myself under that so I could have fun in this matrix when we take it over, as it's like whole different reality, that we change it from the other side through this avatar since we win the battle. So there may be a level of hypnosis that remains, or we all wake up to higher levels than we are now, at super awareness levels, yet still have fun in the matrix. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think about once we control this computerized reality, we're going to be okay on other dimensions where we're having troubles. We had to come here to put forth harvesting energies to be harvested. Our energies taken from us through agreements we make along the way in this matrix. So you're harvesting it, you're really responsible for it. Even if you were a target for these energies, well, it's kind of a trap because, yes, you're a victim, but you need to become responsible in fashion to say and realize that this is a matrix reality where you actually agreed to it early on, but the variables of who would be the harvesters of your psychic energy, of what you worry about, they will be the people to send you a text that you don't really resonate with, make you think, make you feel a little off about things. Well, the adjusters in this reality, they just tweak you a little bit through just one little sentence they can send to you, make you think, right? So once you recognize that as, oh, look at this, and let's put some focus on it, because otherwise, if something bothers our emotions, most of us try to sweep it under the rug energetically, to step over it without paying attention to it. Like, you're on your path, there's that real bad thing, that energy we're coming up on, kind of like step over it and then get past it, and put it back there. Now we're not feeling it anymore. Instead, when it's on your path, here comes that energy again. Now there it is. Stop right here. Let's observe this thing. What are you? Right? Now you're talking to an energy in your mind. What are you? Where are you from? Something like 13, that effect. 103. 702 13 233. You say these things in your mind once you identify these energies, and you will have an energy response syndrome. Something will happen. Like when I was telling the joke in Santa Monica Library to all my evil friends. I knew the loose energy that was being stolen from us all was having to do with a guy named Lucius. Loose us, right? We're here to be loosed. He's a gatekeeper, looks like a homeless guy who's an asshole who used to be a psychologist. Has a dog named Lucifer, right? These are the kind of little signs they give. Well, I told him a joke. Hey, if you see me asleep on the beach, hit me on, bust my head, fucking bash my head in with a baseball bat. Send it through that portal as a fucking energetic possibility, and it hit the right spot through one of the meth addicts. So it went through Lucius. He had done meth too. I saw him all tweaked out. So he's a portal. It went through him, and maybe other guys that I was telling the joke to. Well, it went into an energy ball in Santa Monica, and then it was floating around, waiting to go dink, connect to someone that was being used by the angels of death. Oh, there's some evil people on the beach we need to go take care of. We really want to get them. Let's attach this to Ramon. Ramon is the deportee from El Salvador or some shit. He's on meth. Let's bust. And he'll do it. Because he's a portal now. Through the meth portal, he could be easily convinced of things. Because his thoughts have been programmed to be his own. He thinks he's listening to his own ideas. Now, Ramon, go get a baseball bat. We're going to go bash in some heads to get some money. It sounded like a great idea to him. He's on meth. He's like, fuck yeah. I know where there's a baseball bat. They knew he didn't know where there was a baseball bat. He had been pre-programmed that day to see a baseball bat somewhere. Someone had one he knew or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So he was given that thought early on because he's being mind controlled by, it's a battle. the dark side, who had control of him, now the angels of death are going to go and speak to him. Go get the baseball bat. And they're like, oh, don't do it, you're scared, you'll get busted. And then, but no, fuck that shit, you need dope. And then he's like, I'm going to go do this shit. So that's how that goes down. Ramon went and got the baseball bat and smashed everyone's fucking head on that beach that he could collect money. I was on Skid Row doing some work. He went back there and finished up some energies that I had connected with. So obviously, since I was everywhere in Santa Monica and Venice Beach and West LA, but mostly at the beach area, I had awoken Ramon, because I had to, like, these restrooms, we're all connected to these restrooms, and like I go there and Ramon was there, like high doing his thing, but I don't remember him, but I had to connect with him because I was selling weed, so I'm hitting everybody up that looks tweaked out. If they're too far tweaked, of course, no, but your regular tweakers, yeah. So I was like, hey, I knew who was who over there. So selling weed was easy, but that's how I was connecting all this energy to people. And I was talking to them about some crazy shit, angel of death stuff. I would have like a shirt on, which was the Bride of Frankenstein, and have fucking her eyes, I painted them red, and she's like, bam, but she's nostalgia. Great, but her eyes weren't color. It was fucking bad. Alright, anyway, we're a little high on the, got another minute and I'll shut the fuck up. So, the mind control, I went to Veronica and said, hey, listen, when you recognize you're uncomfortable, let's recognize that before any communications. If you communicate under discomfort, you're under a spell. You should clear all energies before any communications. Any heated conversations are all spells because you're under like a steamboat of energies that are propelling certain downloads like a shotgun instead of a slow knife. So a shotgun just shoots out a whole lot of things at one time, right, to kill it in a multitude fashion, like 13 odd buck. Well, the other stuff, when you slow down the communications and start observing how these specific buttons are being pushed through energetic points to cause an effect, you'll see exactly how you're being harvested. Remember, the movie The Matrix is telling you everything. Neo, you are a battery. You're being harvested, and then they showed him how he's being harvested in pods in a false reality where they're all under some black goo. They're in there and they got all these cords in them. He wakes up, gets shit out into some fucking trash can area where it's water that he's actually swimming in, like all this trash water. And that's the reality. You're fucking waking up and now he's awake. They needed to put needles in him and he's twitching. And then fucking, he says his eyes hurt. Morpheus tells him because he's never seen before. So that just means kept him under mind control. His perceptions of the dream he was in were real. However, once he was awake, he was in the Nebuchadnezzar underground being chased by machines and a watery substance in this thing called the Nebuchadnezzar. So Nebuchadnezzar, 13, 13, 13 power. The beings he was with, they were fighting evil. All this whole scam. They are the mind controllers. And the movie The Matrix, when it begins and it's showing you the downloads that are coming in and all the codes that the agents could read, there are actual beings that can read these codes. So it's a very unsettling reality for many people. the Joker movie, well, The Dark Knight, someone went in and murdered somebody during the Batman movie. So those are how spells are created, connecting beings to comic book strip. Then you have the Vegas strip. You get words that will connect. Well, what was going on with that guy that went and killed all those people inside of that movie? These are mind-controlled beings in a reality that are possessed. So we're all possessed at certain times, depending on how fast we're arguing under what energies. So if we're arguing a point, especially against me because I'm speaking truth, if points are made with energies of something's wrong, those are the energies that need to be looked at rather than continuing the conversation. So that's where we left off. Where if we just stop and not respond, or shall I say react, because it's in reaction without being wise and slowing down, stopping and not reacting and observing the energies. You can't observe the energies while you're in them. You can't see the picture while you're in the frame. 13, 13, 13 power. Les Brown at CEO 13, 13, 13 power space did that spell through me. Put it into my consciousness. I shot that shit out into the collective, and I helped create it. So we are all being used. Nothing I say is true.